Hello, welcome back to another video lecture of social management. So in our previous video lectures of social management, we had learned about many things like what is a community, what is a society, what are the community assets, and many other things and resources of the community also. Now in today's class, we are going to know that how we can take the first step of the development of the community. As a social work, as we know, our prime objective of serving the society, or we can say the prime aim is to identify what are the resources that are available in the community and how we can encash this at its level best. So that is what is our prime objective. Now, when we know that how to identify the resources and we know that what are the positive sources that are available in the community, now what is to be done? Generally, we know that we should have a planning to encash those assets for the development of the community. There is a typical term which is being used in social work, that is asset mapping. So you know what a mapping is or what a map is. We know that there is the demarcation of each and everything that is available in a particular demography. So when we are talking of asset mapping, then definitely it is the mapping of the positive or the good assets that are there in the community to identified previously, as we know, and to have a particular plan to proceed for the development of the community. So what this asset mapping is, in today's class we are going to discuss. So without much delay, let's start off our class of today's social management, that is asset mapping. So if we see, this asset mapping is a tool that relies on a core belief of asset-based community development, namely that good things exist in communities and that those things can be highlighted and encouraged. So the process of asset mapping can include identifying the institutions, individuals and citizen associations existing within communities that serve as positive resources. So as we have already discussed in our previous lectures, we have various community assets. So these community assets can be categorized into 6 categories. So what are these 6 categories of community assets? So these physical assets in the community include the land, the buildings, the transportation and the facilities that can contribute to community strengthening. So physically those assets are identified or visible in the community, that are the physical assets, and that is a category of community asset that are there. The next category of community assets that we have is the economic assets of the community. So this economic assets includes what residents produce and consume in the community in both formal and informal ways through local businesses or bartering and trading relationships that can contribute. So these are the economic assets that a community might be having. Then we have another category of community assets, that are the stories. That means the stories carry the memory of a community and can describe the potential of a community based on previous times as remembered by those who live there. So this can also be a community asset, that what are the stories that are carried in the community, or we can say that what are the things that are there primitively and that are now remembered by the community. So these things might be encashed and could be an asset to a community. The next category is the local residents. So local residents are those who live in the community. These are the resident skills, experiences, capacities, passions and willingness that can contribute to community strengthening, and these local residents are an asset to the community. Then the fifth category of community asset that we are having is the local associations. So these local associations include the associations in the community primarily run by the volunteers, such as athletic clubs, faith-based groups, and other that can contribute to the community. They are the local associations. And the last category of community assets that we might have are the local institutions, that are the public spaces in the community, such as the schools, libraries, the parks, and government entities such as the non-profits organizations. So these are the 6 categories of community assets that might be there in the community. So these assets can now be encased for the development of the community. So why now this mapping is required? So the sole purpose of knowing who or what is in their community, or to know the demographies and spaces that can and will be affected by programming decisions, is the reason behind the mapping. So the true mapping of assets is only a means to another end, though, and this end always includes the involvement of the assets that are discovered. So in the map, we are going to use, or we are going to include the assets that we have identified or that we have discovered in the community. And a map can be created when you are looking for a long-term sustainable grassroots response to a community issue, or when the engagement of the entire community and its resources become necessary to adequately respond to a community issue. So this could be the 2 reasons why we are going to create a asset map. Now, how we will do this mapping, or how we will proceed for asset mapping? So we can understand it with an example of institution mapping. So it creates a map of positive institutions within the community, and this can be oriented around solving a particular problem, or institution mapping can be completed on its own. For example, in institutions we might have the churches, the schools, the police station, the grocery stores, the medical services, local businesses, parks, libraries, etc. So these could be an institution that has the potentiality for the development of the community, or some work is needed on these institutions, and this is how we are going to map that which institution to be placed, or which institutions are to be included in the mapping. It could be an individual mapping. Suppose it creates a map of the gifts, the skills, and the capacities of the individuals living in the community, usually oriented around solving a particular problem. So in the community in which we are working, or in which we are planning for the development, there definitely some individuals are there, and they could be created, or they could be included in the map, and they are going to be a important asset for the development, or they can also be included in the map. And this community individuals, or these individuals might be having having some specific gifts. They might be gifted with some skills, or they might be having some capacities which are going to be helpful in the solving the problems that are arising in the community. This is what we can say an asset mapping, and the requirement of the asset mapping is in that what we come across, that there are various community assets that we had previously known, and we can categorize these community assets into specific categories, and this category of community assets will be identified. As we have already discussed in our previous classes, we will identify these community assets. Now we need to put these community assets in a specific program, or in a specific place. That is how we are going to do the mapping of these assets. Suppose, for example, as we have taken that for institutional mapping, we have to identify that what are the institutes, or what are the common institutes or resources that are there in that particular community. For say, there might be a school that is identified in the community. Now we are going to include it in our mapping of asset, or that is a asset that we have identified and we will map it around. That means we need some development either in that or some developmental activity we are going to do through this institute that is the school. Apart from that, it might be an individual or a group of people, those who are identified in a community, to those who are going to be included in our community development work. So these peoples or these individuals, for example, we identify a potential person who is leading the entire community. We are going to include that particular person in the mapping. So that particular person has the capacity to lead the group, to motivate the group, or can facilitate the group for the cooperation of the developmental work that we are proposing in that community. So this is what the community mapping, identification of the community assets, and how we are going to do the community mapping. Now, what are the possible steps that are there for the community mapping? Let's have a look on that. So there are 10 steps of asset mapping. First is to determine your purpose for mapping. So first thing is we need to be clear, or we need to determine that what is the purpose of our mapping, that we need to be clear about the purpose of our work. Second is the map your organization's internal resources and discover a mapping manager. So we need to now identify the internal resources that are going to do the mapping work. Third is to find out who will direct the process after mapping is complete. So mapping is just a framework. So after the completion of the mapping, who is going to direct it or who is going to complete it? That is the third step. Then to create a geographic focus and assemble and discovery group is the fifth step of asset mapping. Next, we will do secure funds for the completion of mapping and the large project that should be included. So funding makes the next step of asset mapping. Then to utilize multiple tools, methods and sources to identify and catalog the community's assets. Next step is to ensure storage of correct information. Then prepare to invite individuals and associations to be further involved. So these are the 9 steps of asset mapping. Lastly, we will implement the invitation to further involvement and review the purpose statement of the mapping. So these are the 10 steps of asset mapping, which start from the determination of the purpose of our mapping till the implementation of the asset mapping. So now what could be the approaches for the community development? So if we will see, the approaches for community development could be needs based approach to community development, or community based or participatory approach for the community development, or it could be asset based places or a model for development. So what is this need based approach for community development? So the needs based approach, also known as a traditional approach, is generally understood as a deficit model which focuses on the community's needs, deficiencies and the problems. So the inclusion of the ABCD approach, that is asset based community development approach, will have sustainable development impacts on the community in intentionally and consistently employed. And traditional needs based problem solving focus on identifying the needs in a failing community and creating external inputs to meet those needs. So this approach does not create a sustainable solution because it fails to deliver the tools necessary for that community to create its own success. So the need might be indefinite, or the need might not be clear, and that is why it does not create a sustainable solution and it fails. Next is the community based approach, and the community based approach insists that the people targeted for humanitarian assistance have the right to participate in making decisions that affect their living, as well as a right to information and transparency from those responsible for providing assistance. So this is what the community based approach of community development is. Next, we are having the asset based community development, and it is an approach to sustainable community driven development, and this asset based community development's premise is that communities can drive the development process themselves by identifying and mobilizing existing but often unorganized assets. These asset based community development categories, asset inventories into 5 groups, that are individuals, associations, institutions, place based and connections. So what these individuals is that everyone has assets and gifts. These associations are the people discover each other's gifts, and institutions are the people organized around the assets, and the place based assets are the people, those who live here for a reason. So these are the 5 we can say the 5 things or the 5 inventories that are there in the asset based community development. And the 5th one is the connections, that is individuals connect into a community, or the connection of the individuals that are there in the community. So these are the 5 groups of inventories. Now what is this individuals that everyone has assets and gifts, as we have know that at the center are residents of the community who all have gifts and skills. So individual gifts and assets need to be recognized and identified, and in community development you cannot do anything with people's need, only their assets. So we are not going to do anything on the people's need, rather we are going to do whatever assets are there with the community. And deficits or needs are only useful to the institutions, not for the community development. So, and the associations, people discover each other's gifts. In associations, what we have, that these small informal groups of people such as the clubs, the working with a common interest as volunteers are called associations in asset-based community development and are critical to community mobilization. So they don't control anything, they are just coming together around a common interest by their individual choice. So this is what the asset-based community development is. Next is the institutions, that are the peoples, those who are organized around the asset. If you see that the paid groups of people that generally are professionals who are structurally organized and called the institutions, and they include government agencies, the private business, also the schools, etc. They are the institutions that are there in the community, and they can all be valuable resources. So these assets of these institutions help the community capture valuable resources and establish a sense of civic responsibility. And apart from that, what we have is the place-based assets. If you see the land, building, heritage, public and green spaces are the things that are there in the community, which are the assets, and they are based on the places. So every place where people choose to be was chosen for good reasons, and will people remain, those reasons remain, and a place might be a center of natural resources, a hub of activity, living skills, transit connection, or the marketplaces. So whatever the strengths of a place are, the people of the community will be the closest to understanding it. And lastly, we have the connection, that is the connection between the individual and the community. So this asset based community development recognize that the exchange between people sharing their gifts and assets creates connections, and these connections are a vital asset to the community. So people whose gift is to find and create these connections are called the connectors. So there are connectors who are going to connect the community and the individual. So it takes time to find out about individuals. So this is normally done through building relationship person by person, and the social relationship networks and trust from the social capital of a community. So this assets based community development recognize the value of these assets and is a practical application of building relationship to increase the social capital what we have known. So these are the approaches of the community development, we can say. So it could be a need based, it could be an asset based, or it could be the community based what we have discussed. So these are the things which are very much essential while we are thinking of a community development or to think of serving the community. So as a social worker, before entering into any developmental work, we need to choose the right approach of rendering the service or right approach of community development, and that include the asset mapping in which we are identifying the community assets and mapping them properly. So this is what is for today's class. In our next classes, we are going to discuss many other interesting topics. Thank you.